Hey guys, with the release of Morbius, I do want to talk about Moon Knight, which came out earlier. And the reason I'm not talking about Morbius is, firstly, I haven't seen it. Secondly, I've been already spoiled about the movie. The movie is completely garbage. Third, I mean, even though I'm a DC person, I still like Marvel, and I think Moon Knight was one of the better Marvel content I've seen ever since the pandemic had hit in 2020. Honestly, one of the best piece of content from Marvel Studios, and honestly, yeah. Let's get into the review of Moon Knight. Just letting you know, this is a spoiler-free portion, and I will talk about the spoiler part later. I will kind of give you guys time and let you guys know. So yeah. It's pretty amazing. I'm the type of guy who prefers DC films. Not every I love DC, but it's not to the point that I love Green Lantern and the theatrical version of Suicide Squad. I'm hoping we get the haircut, but yeah, I do pretty much like Marvel. I prefer films like Logan and whatnot because those are quality of like content. Like Logan is quality, and what Marvel is doing is quantity over quality, which is a good but also a bad thing. For example, look at Batman. I think the quality of that project was much better than a bunch of MCU projects. The quality of the Dark Knight trilogy and the Tim Burton Batman movie and the Christopher Reeve Superman movie, much better quality film over the MCU Marvel film. But that doesn't mean Marvel has terrible films. I mean, this doesn't mean DC's better. Obviously, the Green Lantern movie, the theatrical cut, Batman vs Superman, Justice League the theatrical cut, Suicide Squad in 2016, and Catwoman in 2004. I can name you a bunch of other movies like Superman 3, Superman 4, Christopher Pease, Batman Forever, and Batman Robin. They're not great movies. They're honestly terrible. But I think Moon Knight, as far as watching episode 1, at the moment of at the time of recording, episode 1 had came out, and honestly, it's one of the better Marvel projects. When I say better, I'm talking about not just MCU themselves, but the overall Marvel content, like the X-Men franchise, this Tobey Maguire franchise, the Fantastic Four with Chris Evans franchise, the rebooted version, the Andrew Garfield version, Daredevil with Ben Affleck, Daredevil with Charlie Cox, and all those. I'm talking about Marvel content in general. I think, for me personally, this is the second best Marvel content. I think for me personally, it's much better than the Avengers films. So the way I'll rank all the Marvel content, including the non-MCU things, is Logan number 1, Moon Knight number 2. I think it's better than every Marvel shows we've had so far up to this point. I would say third will be, and honestly, I prefer Winter Soldier. And then fourth, honestly, I would. This is just my personal opinion. I would honestly say Iron Man 1, and then Captain America. Not Civil War, Winter Soldier, and then obviously all your rankings, all your generic rankings of the Marvel films. Um, Honestly, it's amazing. I love the cinematography. I like the work. I love Oscar Isaac. He is one of the few actors who's like, you have actors that are in different universes. He's one of those couple of actors who are both in a Fox Marvel movie. What I mean by Fox Marvel movies is, when Fox owned Daredevil, Fantastic Four, and X-Men, and he's one of those rare couple of people who was originally part of Fox and moved to the MCU. Amazing job. Because here's the thing, typically when you have people coming from the Fox X-Men movies to the MCU, I don't like their performance. I think, and the only reason is I think Marvel generally tries to give them a lesser known role. Like for example, when the dude who plays the villain X-Men Days of Future Past, when he came on to Avengers Infinity War, he had a much smaller role, and he's a good actor, no doubt. Just his the role he was given, the dialogues, I just didn't like it. And then you also had people like Olivia Munn, who had a really small role in Iron Man. Actually, that was her first Marvel role, and then she went on to X-Men Apocalypse, going alongside with Oscar Isaac. He had Kate Mara, who had a small role and was in the Fantastic Four. Honestly, I think the only people who were able to get a really amazing who was able to get an amazing performance besides Oscar Isaac, who came from like the Fox Marvel films, was Chris Evans and Michael B. Jordan. But Oscar Isaac's performance, personally for me, I think it's number one, because his performance doesn't take, because like, okay, I'm watching Michael B. Jordan's performance in Black Panther, and that every time I see it, I'm not saying he's a bad actor and whatnot. I just think of him as Michael B. Jordan. He did play a good villain, but I think of Michael B. Jordan every time I see him in this role. And like for example, RDJ, I think he did an amazing role, but I think of him as RDJ in the role, not as Iron Man. Same with Tobey Maguire, and honestly, like there's certain actors who are good within the role, but you just think of the actors themselves and not their performance. Oscar Isaac, I think, does a phenomenal job, an amazing performance, and I like the casting. Casting was amazing with it. As far as watching episode 1, honestly, watching episode 1, if I haven't seen besides Hawkeye and the What If series on Disney Plus, I've seen every Disney Plus Marvel shows, and I've seen Daredevil, only season 1, and honestly, Daredevil and this amazing, and this is one of the best Disney Plus shows of all, based on episode 1. I loved the story they were trying to tell. The performance was amazing, and I don't know Moon Knight as a character. I've never read the comics or anything. Going into it, I was really impressed. So yeah. I love the set design. Amazing. This takes place within the MCU, but I like how they didn't have to like reference the MCU so much as opposed to the other Marvel projects. Because I think, I want to say like with Phase 1 they did try to, because they wanted to make one of the first like crossover films, which is understandable. But I think after Phase 1, Phase 2 was kind of annoying. And I think my second favorite MCU project was Captain America Civil War and Iron Man 1. And with Civil War they did reference MCU, but lightly, right? With this one I didn't have to, kind of think about the MCU and figure out its timeline while watching the show. The story, the way it was developed, honestly, I love the score. It was original, and here's the thing: people say WandaVision was original, Loki was original, this show and that show is original, or this project is original, Shang-Chi was an original project, this and that. It's a bold move, this and that. They always put these taglines, but it's still a comic book movie. This didn't feel like. I think watching this, I don't want to say it broke the formula, but it felt fresh. It felt new, um, essentially. And I pretty much like it. It's pretty much like kind of how Snyder was trying to develop his version of Justice League. It's amazing. So yeah. Is it really worth watching the show and investing into it? As far as I'm concerned, and as of recording, episode 1 had just came out. The other episodes haven't came out yet. It's, I think, worth investing your time. And it's, I think, one of those shows where you don't have to watch the previous MCU project, but you would know that it's in the MCU. Like, for example, Loki, for the Loki show, you have to watch Endgame and then all the other movies that came before it. WandaVision, same thing. The web series, you have to know indeed. And it's to the point you have to watch the Incredible Hulk movie to understand the timeline, to understand the web series. Hawkeye, you kind of have to watch the previous movies to understand the character of Hawkeye. Just like this, and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you have to watch the previous movies to understand. Just like that, like this one you don't need to, which I'm a big sucker for, and it's kind of like it's like the Dark Knight trilogy, excluding the Dark Knight Rises. You can watch the Dark Knight without having to watch Batman Begins. The new Batman. Spoiler warning for that movie, but literally they skipped over the origin. They kind of like talk about, but they integrated so well with this, and they didn't have to do it in origin story, which I'm a big fan of. Shows like movies like Logan, you don't have to watch the previous X-Men movie as long as you know the generic X-Men cast members like the Cyclops, the Laser Dude, Jean Grey, Storm, Wolverine, and Professor X and Magneto. As long as you know those, you would understand it. And honestly, you don't have to be a comic geek to understand this show, and it's honestly amazing storytelling. So yeah. Spoiler warning for this show. So yeah. 3, 2, 1. Is it honestly worth watching? Yeah, it's worth watching over Morbius. Don't watch it. Just read the reviews. Dude, all over TikTok, people are literally releasing phone footage of the end credit scenes of Morbius with Michael Keaton as Vulture. Honestly, just watch that. You're all good to go. And sorry for the noise right now. I got people over. So yeah, thank you for watching this review. As always, please stay tuned for more content. And yeah, subscribe to this channel, share this video with everyone else, and I hope you guys have a great time. And don't waste your money on Morbius, honestly. Hey guys, I just realized I forgot to upload this video. So this is a video that was shot a couple days ago, and then towards the end of the video I shot a couple days after because something happens. So please watch it.